Fran, what are you doing?
I'm shaping up. I thought that's what you asked me to do.
No. We're going to show how to use shapes in your quilts.
Oh.
Keep watching. Hi, it's Donna Robertson.
And Fran Morgan with Fabric Cafe.
We have a great show today. I got so excited when I saw all this fabric, and I love the idea of showing how to use geometric shapes in your quilt patterns.
Yes, and no exercise required, which is even better.
Let's get started. All right, the first one is Delight, and I love Delight because it has a lot of dimension to it already with this great shadow box coming off of this one. Let's put it on the table and talk about putting geometrics in there.
Love this pattern. It's just got to be one of my favorites. It's so much fun.
It is fun, and you know, whenever I design things like this, I have so much fun making it happen, you know, playing with my computer program and moving things around. And then after I get through designing it, I have to figure out how to say it so it's super simple. So you're going to love this one, I promise. It's super simple to put together.
Yes.
Okay, we have some great geometric shapes here. And one of the things that I like to do when I'm working with geometrics is you don't want to get real static. See how the little fabric goes up and down and up and down?
Yes.
And that way you don't have to like cut it so precisely, and it will work in your...
That is such a good point. And I love this fabric too, because not only does it have squares, but it has little dots. And it does break it up, like you say.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
So it's a great way to pick out your geometrics, is to get that. It's geometric, but it also has a little fluid motion to it. How's that?
And it's kind of playful, so I like that.
Yeah. Okay, this will be our number one, and then this quilt, our number one block is right here. And it's also going to be over in your border. And then the number two is your background, because you would not see these elements if the background blended in with these blocks. They just really stand out here. Yeah. So that's our number two. And then we are using basically a double focus. And nice. You've got the purple as your second color, or your number three fabric, and it's going to go here. And then we're going to use it right here for the shadow box.
Yeah, I love that. It's very cool.
Look like
very
it's coming
fun. Out. Yes, absolutely. Now, on these kits, because this is a great kit, I know everybody's going to want to rush over and get it, we do have limited quantities, so be sure and check it out quickly, because not all of these have a whole lot of quantities online.
We have a rendering also of this particular quilt. So you can see how this looks, and you can see how that shadow box, just shadowing the number one fabric. I really like the way that looks. And you can see how the geometrics just add to the look of the overall quilt, so it gives it more movement right in the block.
Yep, it is great. I just absolutely love it. And I love the purple and the teal together. It's kind of my favorite combination.
Love them. And the kit information on this one is 8023122, Mod Fun. Delight is the pattern from the book Magic of 3-Yard Quilts, and the alternate pattern is It's a Snap.
Now our next pattern is Puzzle Me This. Now this is a fun one and really great for geometric shapes. As you can see from the fabric here, now unfortunately we don't have this one anymore, but we have some great fabric that we're about to show you. But you can see how wonderful this kind of square and square, a rail fence blend together beautifully. And we're going to put a stripe, and we've got some pieces and parts. So let's get it on the table.
I remember whenever I designed this particular one, I just loved the way that the different shapes going together and just the rail fence being moved around. Yes. It kind of just gives a lot of interest to it.
I agree. And it's got to be one of my go-to all-time favorites, especially whenever we do a geometric like this. Now, we're going to go into, this particular pattern is from the Quick and Easy book. Of course, you're going to see that it's all stepped out, and we're using strip piecing to make most of this. So we've got some pieces and parts, and we're going to step through how to do that. So our very first one, we have, I just love it when we do this. It's so great.
It is.
So we have 3 strips of fabric here, and as you can see, we're using a stripe as our focus, and what a great geometric that is. It's a stripe, but it kind of has this squared off look to it.
But look, it's the same way as I was talking about before. It's kind of an uneven pattern.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
holds that interest without just being static.
Right, right. So we've got our strip unit here. So what we're going to do after we sew this together is we're just going to slice off a piece of pizza here. We're just going to slice off a unit. So here is a unit just like that. Now, I'm going to move this to the side, thank you. After we get our units cut, what we're going to do is just put a strip of fabric on each side. Now, I'm going to move this down and put it on the correct block. Our seam allowances are still on our pieces, so that's the reason why it looks a little bigger, but it's going to go just like that.
Love it.
Fabulous and fast. So then we have a finished block here. I'm going to just lay this up here in its place. Our alternate block is pretty much made the same way. We have a strip assembly, 3 strips of fabric. We have our number 2s on the outside, our number 3 in the middle. We're gonna slice off a block in this case. So let me just put this up here so that you can see what I mean by that. We're gonna slice off a piece. It's gonna be the entire block. So super easy. We're gonna put this one here and this one here. And as you can see, these are rotated just a little bit and it gives us that great connection in the quilt. I think this is fabulous. I love the bright pink.
And I love the way the pinks and oranges are really coming into decor this year.
Yes, me too. It's very happy, very, very fun. All right, so here's our focus fabric. And you know, seeing it in the little pieces is great, but seeing it like this in a big piece is stunning. So just love this, and it works so well in our number 1 position. And then the number 2 is kind of this nice, very, 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 very light yellow. And it picks up the very light yellows in our number 1 fabric, which I think is great. And then our number 3 fabric is the dot crosshatch here, which is super. It's the darker pink picking up all of the dark pink in our focus.
I love it.
So as you can see here, it works beautifully. All righty, so our kit information on this one, the number is 8023123. It is called a Pink Parfait. The pattern is a Puzzle Me This from the Quick and Easy book.
Now the next one that we have is called Pinwheel. And Pinwheel is one of those that you make a whole lot of the same block and you just arrange them on the quilt, put some borders on it, and voila, you have a quilt. So let's put that up there and see what it looks like and how to use geometrics in it.
This is a fun stripe.
Isn't that fun?
Yes, and once again, just like you're saying, I love that you pointed that out because I hadn't really focused on that before. And it's a great stripe, but it's got a lot of wiggle to it.
Well, that'll keep it in shape, all the wiggling.
That's right.
But that is very, very true. And the really cool thing about this particular quilt is we put the number 1 fabric in the border.
Ooh.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
And I'm going to show you the fabric, and then we have a rendering, so you stay tuned for that. But whenever you put your stripe in a border, our patterns work well for that being in the border. Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes, and
That's
there's
gonna be so cool.
There's a lot of light and fun colors in this too.
Yes, and even though it has the stripe, it has a lot of movement in the stripe so that you won't lose any interest there at all.
No.
Okay, the number 2 fabric is going to be what we call the background. So it's going to be the lightest of the 2, and that will be one of the parts to your half square triangle. And then the number 3 is here in the number 3 spot. And so you see how we get that contrast, which then makes you be able to see that pinwheel.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I always like red and black together. I think it's very striking.
This is very striking, very dramatic, and let's look at the rendering. This one is so cool, and then you can see how that stripe goes on the border.
Yeah.
So it kind of draws. It's sort of like one of these quilts where you go to the center because you see all those pinwheels, but the stripe will then frame it beautifully and kind of draw it out so that you can really see that gorgeous, gorgeous fabric.
So fun.
Now this one is called Funky Zigzags, and it is 8023124. It's the pinwheel pattern. It's from the book Quilt Favorites.
Our next pattern is Curio. Now this is one of my favorites because, you know, I love the bold colors and all the bold movements. This is actually a great example of using a geometric pattern in a quilt. So this is very fun. We've got a snowball here and a nice sashing blocks here. Let's put it on the table. We've got something great to show you. Now, I love this fabric for this. And you know what I think is really cool about our fabric choice this time? This pattern kind of mimics this pattern. And I think it's so cool.
That is cool.
And I love all the greens and the yellows. And it's got a little bit of Donna in there just to give it a little spice on the edge there.
I love
so
it.
It's so much fun. So number one fabric here, focus is going to go where this number one is, right in the middle in our snowball. Then our number two is this great kind of, it almost looks like stitches or something.
Yeah, it does.
And it's kind of cool because it's at an angle, and I like that. That's going to be in the number two position, which is the beige here. So it's really going to help our geometric pop on our snowball. And then our number three is a nice textural. You know, I look at this and I think it looks like denim. So it's,
it does.
It's got some texture to it, and it has that kind of yummy blue denim-y color, and it picks up the color in the focus fabric just perfectly. This will be our sashing pieces and our joining block here. So it's going to really work well, I think.
I like that.
It is fun. Now the image on the screen shows you how great that green looks in that snowball, and it's perfectly bordered with the denim. It's a fun, fun quilt, one of my new favorites, absolutely. And I think this is a great one.
Well, you know, this is just one of 8 great patterns from your new book, Make It Modern with 3-Yard Quilts. I love that new book, and Fran she outdid herself with every one of those patterns.
Thank you. There's a lot of geometric prints in that book as well, so that would be another good example to look at.
That would be perfect.
Yes. All right, let's get the kit info on this one. It is called Retro Grooves, and the number is 8023125. It is the Curio pattern from Make It Modern, and its alternate pattern is Gallery.
And now this one is called Dash, and Dash has been around for a while and stayed up there in the top quilts for Fabric Cafe for some time now. I love it, and I love the fact you can use a double focus in this one. So let's put that up on the table. For some reason, double focus just seems to be one of those things that I really gravitate. And I think it's because a lot of us, we see those focus fabrics, we love them, we buy them, and then we're like, what am I supposed to do with this? Because I've got more focus than I do matchers.
Because that's what that's what we gravitate towards, definitely.
And this pattern is in the book, Easy Peasy 3-Yard Quilts. And as Fran pointed out before, we always give you lots of great diagrams so you can follow along if you're a visual quilter. So, and also the easy patterns to write as well. We have pieces and parts, so let's talk about this.
Love this fabric.
I love this fabric. You know I have a lot of quilts that go home with me after we finish using them. This one would just be perfect.
Oh my gosh, it's just quirky and fun, and the colors are beautiful.
Yeah, and you know, some quilts just seem to lend themselves to super easy to make. And this one, your blocks are squares. So we're going to put that right here. And then we're going to take the number 3 fabric, and it's going to go right here. Isn't that cool? Just, I mean,
loving this.
You can't get much easier than that. And so like Fran said a little earlier, we've got our seam allowances on these, so they're going to be a little bit bigger than what you see in the finished quilt. Now the next part, we're going to make this part right here, and it starts with the strip piecing. Let's turn this around like this. Strip piecing like this, and you're going to cut that. What did you call it? A slice of pizza. You're going to cut this little strip off here, and then you're going to add gray strips to the side, your number 2 to the side. So you can see how this is this, and then we sew strips on the side, and you make this fun little funky block.
It's cool.
It is cool.
It's just so cool.
And that's going to go right here on the side like this. We've got another one that we can put down here. Are you seeing this come together? Isn't it just great?
It is so fun.
And then this one has a single sash. It's only going to be sashed in between the rows. So we're going to put this in between the rows. Can I have the cropper so we can show this? I just think this is the coolest quilt. So I love that gray. It's just perfect for this particular one. And we're going to put this down here so you can kind of see how It's all going to come together. Isn't that great?
It is fabulous. I mean, it's like an art gallery right there on your quilt. I just
Absolutely.
love it so much.
Now, our number 1 fabric, as we said before, is going to be here in this spot. Our number 2 is this gray, and I love the way that gray really frames these. It makes these colors even brighter.
It really does.
Yeah. So that's going to be your number 2. And then your number 3 fabric will be going in the alternate block and in the little center, the little peekaboo block.
I just love it. And like down there, it's like different colors in that little part. It almost looks like different fabric because it's a nice big print. Oh, I just love it.
I do too. So this particular kit is called Painter's Dots, and it's the dash pattern. It's 8023126. And it's from the book, Easy Peasy 3-Yard Quilts.
So fun. So our next quilt is Town Square. And this is a great one because we have, once again, a nice big block, which we always love. And it's bordered with both our number 2 and our number 3 fabrics. We have a fantastic geometric we want to show you. So let's get it on the table. Isn't this another one that is just so cool? You know, it has a similarity to the last one that we just looked at because it's kind of these abstract shapes on the background, and it's a little bit larger print, and I think it's just fantastic. So this is our focus fabric. This is going to go in the big block here. So you're going to get a nice big slice of yumminess in that block.
Absolutely.
So then we have our number 2. Now our number 2 is a nice white cream with a little green dot, and this green is the perfect green for this background here, and it is going to go on 2 of your corners here, and then we're duplicating that as our number 3. We've got a nice blue which picks up the blues here with the green which picks up the background, and that is going to go on the corners here. And you know, this is another one of those that just kind of looks like a piece of art to me. I just love it. We've got a great image on the screen so that you can see how that goes together. And it just is, it's artsy, but it's vintagey, but it's just cool all the way around. I just love it. All right, so our kit information on this one is 8023127. It is called Pop Art. The pattern is Town Square from the Easy Peasy book. I'm feeling fit, inspired, and ready to quilt.
Well, if you're ready to quilt, you need to check out our free goodies tab because we have big blocks, directional fabric, and double focus pattern list that you can download and use for some of these great geometrics.
That's a great idea because some of these geometrics, all of those suggestions on those free goodie sheets can really help sometimes. And they are absolutely free to you on our website, fabriccafe.com.
So it's Donna Robertson
and Fran Morgan. Thanks for watching.